Hi, welcome back to my channel. This is a painting video. I know, big shock. But it's a little different because I am not having a artist I am inspired by this time. I am inspired by a podcast. It's my favorite podcast. It's called My Favorite Murder. Yeah. Teeny tiny innocent me loves to listen to true crime podcasts. Yeah. Who knew? I have a dark side, as one of my husband's friends would say when we play Cards Against Humanity. I just know what is fun. This podcast is not just a true crime podcast, it's also a comedy podcast. So it's two women telling horrific murder stories from real life to each other and to all the listeners, of course. And it's such a gruesome topic to talk about murder, so they are trying to light the mood, and I love that. So their fans call themselves Murderinos. Yeah, they call themselves Murderinos. So I can honestly say I am one too. I am a Murderino. I love their podcast, and I'm just I can't get enough of it. When I was working, that was the only thing I was listening to for like a year. Not a year. Half a year? 6 months? Yeah, about 6 months listening to it, and then of course I get fired, so now I don't have as much time to listen to the podcast. So now it's only when I'm walking the dog and vacuuming. Yeah, that is kind of the only times I'm listening to the podcast now, but I'm getting up there. So right now they have 465 episodes, plus their mini episodes, and I am at 106. I have a long way to go, but I am listening at least 1 to 2 episodes every single day. So the first time they said the word Murderino, an idea popped into my head that I had to paint. I just had to. And that's the video. It is finally time for me to paint my Murderino inspired painting. So I do not have a printer, but that is not gonna stop me. I go on Pinterest, I find the drawing that I want to copy, and then I take some baking paper and then I just put it on my computer screen onto the baking paper. It's not complicated. It's not more complicated than that. So as you can see, I traced it very lightly because I didn't want to damage the screen on my computer. So I'm tracing it one more time, but on the paper, so I can actually see what the heck I'm doing. It's nice to know what you're doing, actually. Now, some people would call this cheating, that I'm not actually painting this myself. But I kind of want it to look a certain way, so I am doing it my way. So after I've traced it all one more time, I turn the baking paper over onto the canvas. I turn it over, put it the way I want it to be, and then I trace it again. It is mirrored the wrong way, but I kind of like it that way. And after that, I trace onto the canvas a freestyle touch of mine. It's gonna make more sense later why I put a knife in a hand of a ballerina. I'm not crazy. This makes sense. I mixed up 3 beautiful colors together and I made this very, very light skin tone. It is so cute and I really love it, but I kind of wanted more shadows, so I am gonna make it darker later. Not because I couldn't find the right color again, but because I think she's too white. I mean, these days you can't be too white, and no one really looks like that. Okay, maybe someone is. Never mind. I am drawing the dress in a very dark color. One might say it's black, but it's actually dark, deep gray, so it's not completely black. And I am gonna mix up so you can actually see the folds in the dress later, but not right now because so I mixed the deep gray with a little bit of white just to make highlights on the dress. As you can see, I'm in a lot of doubt as I'm progressing with this painting. I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm loving the process. This was just a cozy little project for me. Nothing fancy, nothing too serious, just some fandom art. The way I imagined the word that I am inspired by. I mixed up a color a little bit darker than the skin tone. I only wanted to cover the leg behind and the arms, wherever the light didn't directly shine upon her. But as soon as I started on the arms, it just took over and I knew I had to paint it all. But it became nice. I kind of like it. I kind of like the way that it's not a complete Caucasian lady, but it's a kind of, she's been outside, she's been in the sun, she knows outside life, not just the ballerina life, you know? Oh, and yeah, here it is. I actually traced over the legs, the feet again, so I could actually have her ballerina shoes with it. It just looks weird without it, right? I mean, I'm not crazy. It looks weird without. So she's gonna be a complete ballerina, and luckily I actually made room for it so her feet could actually be on the canvas. I love that my ballerina can have feet. I'm making her shoes in the same color as her dress. I feel like it's controversial that her slippers are not white or pink. I think I'm rambling. Now I go back to the dress because the lines I made with the lighter gray, it was kind of thick and it didn't look realistic enough for me. So I'm just going over all the lines, making them thinner and more clean, cleaning up my painting, and that took overhand too. It was my plan to have the top of the dress the light gray. I changed my mind there too. It was sort of a moody day for me when I painted it. Everything just did what it wanted to do. It is what I wanted, and I love that I actually did it. I could not be happier with this painting. I kind of want a background, but I don't want to ruin the focus point of her and her dress and the knife. Yeah, the knife is a focal point because not all ballerinas are dancing around with knives. Mine does. Now I am painting her hair brown. I wanted her to be a brunette, but as soon as I was done painting her hair, it just looks wrong. And also as you can see now, I am lining up the whole ballerina with a black pen. And if I had kept her hair dark, I would not have been able to draw up the lines in her hair, which is one of the reasons why I even took that drawing from Pinterest to inspire by, was because of her hair. Now I made kind of a mistake. I should not have started lining up before I was done painting, but I thought I was kind of done. So yeah, what's the harm of lining it up when you think you're done? And then I kept staring at the painting and thought, this is wrong. There needs to be shadows on her legs and arms. I hope that one day I learned from my mistakes, but right now it doesn't seem like it. But that's okay. Oh, here is the best part about this painting. I am painting a little drops of blood from her hand dripping down onto her dress, and from her dress down to the ground, and of course on the knife, because what is a knife without blood, right? It is a murdery, because this lady is not just a ballerina. Yeah. Right now I have a backstory. She is a ballerina who just killed her biggest competition. When I was painting the blood on the floor that she is dancing on, it's like a river of blood. I was thinking about making it the whole background red, so she's dancing in a river of blood, but that is just weird. So I kept it like this. So off screen I painted the hair white again because I could not deal with the brown hair. And then I made a lighter color of the brunette. I mixed in the skin color and the brown together and then put some white in it, and then I got her perfect hair color. I think it's a strawberry color, like the strawberry blonde, which I still think is ironic, is called strawberry when strawberry is red. Yeah, that's a whole other rant. I bought a new toy. It was on sale in the supermarket. I bought a ring light with a magnifying glass in the middle. Isn't that amazing? And then I thought I was just gonna show you that it actually works. It was on sale and I didn't even know that they were selling it. Here, finally the hair is done and I'm just drawing up the lines of her hair. It's just one of my favorite things. I'm watching a lot of YouTube videos about how to draw hair. One artist, he's really good at explaining how you have to divide hair into chunks instead of each individual strand of hair. That made it so much easier for me to do this hair. I like you can look at a YouTuber and their videos and actually get something out of it. That's just amazing. I tried to make some rosy cheeks on her because, you know, you just committed murder and then you're dancing around with the murder weapon in a pool of blood. Maybe you're a little flustered, but the way I did the color, her skin tone, I could not make it work. So I panicked and then I just removed it again. Like put on some white and tried to make the same skin color again because, you know, it has been hours since I painted the skin color again. So now I had a third skin color to put on her. So I swiftly decided not to just put it on her face and put it all around her body as the light tones of her skin. So the second skin color I found is now the shadows as I wanted it to be. Add a lighter color of the skin where the light would reflect on her. I hope that makes sense. I don't know if it makes sense. I can always hope, right? I have to do this every single time when I want to record and stop recording, because otherwise I have to get up from the chair and that disturbs the dog, so he thinks it's dinner time. It's not dinner time for another hour. So I don't know what his problem is. He's a foodie and I love him, and of course now I have to stop recording again because this was a completely other nonsense. But okay, what did you think? It is the first time I am painting on a round canvas. I'm not doing that again because what the heck? Like, why is it round? The thing I hate the most is the corners. Like, because it's round, they can't make it flat like on a square canvas. Oh, and also I made / bought a stencil. It is my signature, my new last name, my husband's and mine, and I'm gonna put it on the back of canvases, all of my canvases. Instead of a signature in front, ruining the painting, I'm gonna put it back. Like, look how cute that is. I just love that. But oh, this is everything I wanted it to be. And even the fact that I left some of the pencil marks on the knife, I didn't erase it. I kind of love that. And I am starting to love the idea of not having a background, but just keeping it like this. Oh, look at all that blood. It's a bit macabre, I know. Don't you just love the word macabre? That is... Now, if you are a Murderino and you have connections to Karen and Georgia, the hosts of my favorite murder podcast, please tag them in this video because I want them to see. Because of them, I made this happen, and I love that so much. It's expressing something I didn't know that I needed to express. Like the way she drops the blood from her hand down to her dress, and then from the dress down into the puddle that she's dancing. Oh my god. That is exactly the expression that I am thinking about every single time I hear them say Murderino. This makes me so happy. And I've put it up over the TV next to my Lego gauntlets. Yes, because I have Lego gauntlets. That's so great. Everything is amazing. If you don't have a podcast you listen to right now and you love the dark, macabre stuff, you should definitely listen to My Favorite Murder. The first couple of, I think 20 episodes, it's My Favorite Murder. That's the first episode. And then my second favorite murder is the second episode. That's it. I think until 12. And then they actually start to get more popular, and it's just episode this, and it's less fun, but still hilarious. I ramble again, don't I? If you have a favorite podcast and the fans of that podcast is a certain word, you should make that picture, because that just made my whole week. This week was just so boring, and a job interview canceled, and another job interview were like not going great because I am a shy little butterfly and I really should not be out in public. But it's fine. Making this painting has made my month. It's been a rough month, but finally making this painting, and hopefully one day Georgia or Karen, or Georgia and Karen and Steve is gonna watch this painting or this video, and they're gonna say, whoa, we inspired her to do that. And I'm like, that's all I want. They inspire so many people, and they talk about murder Isn't that amazing? They have a signature phrase which is called stay sexy and don't get murdered. I've started every time my husband goes to work, I am like, stay sexy, husband. And he's like, don't get murdered. And I'm like, you're so sweet. Because he doesn't even listen to the podcast. And yet he listens. I ramble on about the podcast a lot. Not much is happening in my life, so the podcast is kind of the only thing I have going, except for YouTube. So life is good. And now I have my favorite painting, inspired by my favorite podcast, that is called My Favorite Murder. That's a lot of favorite in one video, right? I mean, wow. Okay, see you next time, and I hope you don't get murdered. So stay sexy.